Hey everyone, this is Mr. K with section 18 of the Precalculus summer homework, intervals of increasing and decreasing. So a couple things to note. First, always read the graph from left to right. Always, always, always. And then always use X values when talking about increasing and decreasing intervals. I'll explain. So like here, our first picture, I see that it starts decreasing, and then once it hits that point, it is now increasing. And so thinking about the x values, the x value all the way over to the left here would be negative infinity. So our interval of decreasing, I'll start with that. It's going to start at negative infinity, and then it's going to stop once we get to the x value of 2. Again, it has to be the x value. If you talk about like a y value, sometimes with graphs, like there'll be multiple like things going on, like you might get a picture like this, and if you say, well, we'll use y equals 2, if you say that's where it's like increase or stops increasing or decreasing, you don't know if you're talking about that point, or this point. So that's why we always use x values when expressing increasing and decreasing. So it's from negative infinity, and then it stops when we get to 2, but you are going to use a bracket whenever you have like numerical values, because you're going to include that point. So including the 2, and then it's going to be increasing. And now our increasing, it starts at positive 1, or excuse me, positive 2. See, don't do that. It starts at positive 2 and then goes on forever. So our increasing is going to start at 2 and then goes to infinity. And a way to always like double check your work is that when you look at the intervals of increase and decrease, they should pretty much cover from negative infinity to infinity. And you can kind of see that here is that the first part goes from negative infinity to 2, then the increasing picks it up from 2 to infinity. The only time you wouldn't have that is if you had like a constant line, so if it's just like flat, but typically you're not going to see that. Looking at number 2, again, reading from the left to the right, I see that this is it's increasing really, really slowly, but it's still increasing, and then it just keeps on increasing and increasing and increasing. So there actually is no interval of decrease, it's only increasing. And it's increasing from negative infinity to positive infinity. The entire time that graph is increasing. Looking at number 3, it's decreasing, and then it kind of picks up and decreasing much faster, but then we have this like jump in the graph, but then it continues to decrease. So even though this looks a little funky, this graph is still always decreasing. We just need to, we can't use the x value of 0 because that's a vertical asymptote there. That's not part of our domain. So when we write our decreasing, we need to write it taking that into account. So it's decreasing from negative infinity, and again we're using x values, so that's why I'm using negative infinity and not 0. Negative infinity until we get to 0, but we're not going to include that 0 because it's not part of our domain. And then I'm going to do another u for a union, and then it's going to be from 0 to positive infinity, because again, this picture is always decreasing. We just can't include 0 because it's not part of our domain. And that's it. So I hope you found this video helpful, and have a great day.